Welcome. This video is designed to give you a little introduction on how to best use the online resources of the Grade 9 Academic Math course. First thing we want to do, I think, is go up to Class Tools here, and we'll click on this little triangle, pull down our menu, and we want to choose Content, which takes us to the course content. And this takes us first to the Tracking Sheet and Handout module, because that's what we were working on before, the Introduction to Online Resources right here. All of the modules in the course are listed down the side here. You can see that there's basically a module for each unit of the course. And let's say you're working on Unit 2 Exponents. Let's just click on that, and we'll go into that module here. Let's see if it says Exponents up here at the top. And then inside this, we've got a number of little subpages. First thing we have here is the Learning Guide. Now, you're going to have a paper copy of this that you got from your teacher. But in case of emergency, there's always an electronic copy here. So I'm just going to open this in a new tab here so we can refer to the learning guide as we're talking about this. So if we look at our learning guide, this is where you're going to start. You'll see that each unit in the course is divided into these little boxes on the cover page of the learning guide. So you're going to start at box A here, Introduction to Algebra. So what I would do is, if you're just starting on box A, before doing any of the instructions listed in the learning guide, let's come back to our Unit 2 Exponents page over here, module over here. The first thing I would do is I would go to the next thing we see in our module, Unit 2 ABCD Lesson Notes blank. And this is a file that contains sort of the skeleton of all of the notes for all of the lessons that are posted online. So you're going to want to get a copy of this. I'll just open this in a new tab here as well. You can get a copy of this probably from your teacher, or you can print this out. And if we look at it, it's got some text in here, but also some spaces where you are going to fill things in. So you would print that off, and with that sitting in front of you, you would start at box A here, Introduction to Algebra. So if we click on this, it takes us to the Introduction to Algebra page. And it says up here, lesson, watch the video of the in-class lesson below. That's right here. So if we just click play, it'll play that video for us. And we're going to have our notes page in front of us, so we can take notes on what's going on in this video as we go along. Then after I've watched that video and taken my notes, I'll go back to the learning guide here and follow the instructions. It says read and complete learning guide pages A2A1 to 2A3. So that's some work that you can do here in the learning guide. And then when I've done that, I would go on to box 2B, Introduction to Power. So again, I would get my notes page out, and then I would go over here to Introduction to Powers. And again, I can watch my video here and take my notes as I go along. Now, the extra thing that we have here in Introduction to Powers is we have a couple of links here to pages with practice questions. These are completely optional, but if you wanted a little bit of extra practice working with powers, you could go to a page like this. Let's open this in a new tab. And at this page, there's a website called ixl.com. It just gives you a question here, okay, and it asks you to put your answer in here. So in this case, our answer is 2. We click submit, and it tells us what's correct. If you put in a wrong answer here, it gives us an explanation of how we should have done this, and then we can go on. Okay? So that can be a handy little review or practice as you're going along. So once you worked your way through, and then of course after you would watch the lesson, you would go back to the learning guide and see what other instructions were there, whether it was stuff in the learning guide or stuff in the textbook. And then once you worked your way through A, B, C, D, doing all the work in the learning guide, taking all of your notes, you can get ready for the test by doing the Unit 2 review. Now this is optional as well, but these are just some extra questions. You think of it as kind of a little practice test that you can try just before the test to make sure you understand everything that is on it. And there are answers provided on the back of the page. Once you've done all of that, you are ready to go and sign up to write your test. Write your unit summary, hand your summary, your unit guide, your learning guide into your teacher, fill out a test slip, and write your test, and then you're ready to go on to the next unit.